Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to the NKG Talk to Me channel. I am so excited. Oh, I'm telling you, I've turned off the air conditioner, I've opened the doors and windows. Oh, the mornings are so wonderfully cool. Autumn is in the air. Won't be long till we're wearing sweaters and boots and pull out the chili bowls. Oh, yes, I love the change of the seasons. Oh, yes, and autumn is one of the best. It gets me excited. As I said, welcome to the NKG Talk to Me channel. I thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I hope that you get something out of today's discussion. Before we go to the Vine line, I want to give you something to think about. I want to put a little question out there before you, and it concerns art. As in, how do you define art? What do you think of when someone says the word art to you? For most of us, it probably involves a canvas and color and painting and things like that. And I agree, that's one of the first things that comes to my mind is, artwork on the wall and things like that. But there is such thing as musical art. There is the written word. The written word can be very artistic. There's all types of art out there. And I want you to keep that in mind and think about that as we go through the Vine line today. What makes art, and do we have an appreciation for art? Basically, I think that art boils down to a form of expression. And so keep that in mind as we go through the topics of the Vine line today. First on the list is the Miss America pageant. I think it was a couple of weeks ago that they had the 2014 Miss America pageant that had a couple of historical making moments in it. One being that the individual, Miss New York, I believe it was, that was crowned for Miss America 2014, is the first Miss America of Indian descent. So history was made there. But the history that I want to talk about is from Teresa Vale, who was a 22-year-old contestant. She represented Kansas, so she is Miss Kansas, and she did not win. To be honest with you, I don't even know if she placed in the top 5. But she made news nonetheless because in a tradition steeped pageant such as the Miss America pageant, she shocked everyone by showing and revealing 2 tattoos that she had on her body. One of the tattoos was the Serenity Prayer. That's the one where God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, I believe she had that along, the right side of her body here, between the chest top area down along the rib cage side there to her waistline. And then on the other side, I believe on her shoulder, she is a active sergeant in the United States Army, and I understand that on her shoulder she had the insignia of the United States Army Dental Corps tattooed there. And she chose, during the swimsuit competition part of the pageant, to go and have those uncovered and revealed to the audience there. She said in the interview that she said, I don't understand why this is so historic. She said, half of the contestants here have tattoos. They just choose to keep them covered or not to reveal them. She said, but my main platform is empowering women to overcome stereotypes and break through barriers. So she said it would be rather hypocritical of me to try to hide my tattoos. She said, I am who I am, tattoos and all. And I'm like, okay, Miss Kansas, Teresa Vale, you go get them. Right along that same line, the second topic, in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago, lawmakers have put together, are discussing implementing a 24-hour mandatory waiting period before a person can get a tattoo or body piercing. A mandatory 24-hour waiting period. And to my knowledge, there's no age specification on this. It doesn't matter the age. You just go and register to get a tattoo or a body piercing, but it's mandatory that you wait a 24-hour period. Now this is just in the organizing planning stage here. It's not a law yet, but it is being discussed. They're calling it the Think Before You Ink law or plan. Now, I have some thoughts on this, and I'm sure you do too. One, there's been a lot of controversy over whether America should get involved in the chemical weapons massacre that took place in Syria a few weeks back. Now, let me just tell you, by no means do I approve of what Assad did or condone this massacre, this killing, or evil dictatorship in no way. But as some people are saying and questioning, is America the world's police force? Is it our job, is it our responsibility to try to eradicate all of the evil in the world? And I believe my thought on that is no, I don't think so. We have enough issues right here in our own country that we need to be focused on. So, I just don't see that we are the ones to police the entire world and try to eradicate the world of evil dictators. So I also kind of feel that way with this Think Before You Ink 24-hour mandatory waiting period proposal here. I mean, yes, getting a tattoo, that's a serious thing. And, it's a permanent decision there. Well, we know it can be changed, but I understand that, the change is not easy and all. But again, you need to think. As I said, think before you ink. And I have to be honest, I am a fan of tattoos. Yep, me. I've always liked tattoos. For me, I just think it's art. That's why I opened up with, what do you define as art? And to me, it's a form of expression. Now, granted, I think they should be artistically and respectful, but I don't have a problem with tattoos. Now, they can be way overdone. I agree with that. But to me, they can also be very pretty. The problem for me with tattoos is they don't stay bright and colorful. Not to mention that as the body ages, we all know, it shifts, it moves, and maybe what started out as one sort of design ends up not looking like that at all. Now I have to say I have an interesting story to tell about tattoos. I've always liked them and thought I wanted one, but I knew that I didn't want to go through the pain. So instead I put on a fake tattoo. And I wanted it to be, I'm not one of these, I don't want it hidden and stuff. It's for me. I like looking at the tattoo. So I wanted it where I could see it. So, I got a bug in my ear. And so I went and had one Friday evening, went and put a tattoo on my arm. It was a rather large tattoo. It was a sword with a rose intertwined on it. I thought it was very pretty. So Monday morning, I go to school. Remember, I was a high school teacher. I go to school, and I thought, well, I need to show my principal. So I showed my principal, and he went, I thought he was going to have a coronary. He said, oh, my God, what have you done? I said, well, before you go all spazzy on me, it's fake. And he kind of rolled his eyes. He said, you're crazy. I said, well, let's have a little fun with it. So just, roll with me on this. So I went on through the day. Well, oh, my goodness, the kids went nuts. You'd have thought, all of a sudden I'm the coolest teacher on campus. They're all coming out of the woodwork. They want to see my tattoo. They want to see Miss. Did you know Miss Green got a tattoo? Etc. 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 But here's the story. By lunch, actually it was before lunch, but so no later than noon, my principal comes to my classroom, calls me out of class, and he says, "You've got to get rid of the tattoo." I said, "What?" And he said, "You've got to get rid of the tattoo." He said, "I have had many calls from parents already. Get rid of it." And I said, "You are kidding me." And he said, "No." I said, "Okay, I'll have it off, tomorrow." And he said, "Okay, see that you do." I was shocked and stunned by that. I have to say, previously over the weekend, I went out and, it is what it is, but it is sad to me. I learned so much with this little fake tattoo experiment. People would look at me and stare at me, and you could just see the almost disgust, up on their face. And I just, I thought, little do you know, I'm a high school teacher, and I probably teach your children or your grandchildren, It just kind of made me chuckle inside. And then when this happened at school, and my principal came and said, I've had many parents call, you've got to get rid of it. I thought, really? Overnight? Yesterday I was a respected educator, good at what I do, highly regarded and respected in the classroom. And now, because of some ink, that, as I said, it was a sword with a rose entwined. It was really, I thought, very pretty. But because of some colored ink on my arm, I am now some sort of trailer trash or hard rocker or biker babe, just because I have some colored ink. Now, you want to talk about stereotypes and judging of people. Like I said, I learned. Plus, like I said, I don't want pain. I'm not into inflicting pain upon myself. And I realized even the short time that I had it, after a while, I kind of got tired of looking at it. I wanted something different. So that's why I invested in, I don't know if you can see it or not, but on my arm there, well, actually it's not where you can see it, but I have a little tattoo. It's a little bird that I have on there. Don't get all spazzy on me. It's fake. So I can wash it off and stuff, but I think it's sexy. I like it. So, I don't have a thing with tattoos. And as far as this think before you ink, 24-hour mandatory waiting period, I don't know that I agree with that either. I mean, when are people going to be responsible for their actions? They have to think it through. They have to, make wise choices and decisions. And if they don't, they have the consequences. Now, right along with that, it's Halloween time, or it will be in about a month. And some of you may already be thinking about, costume parties and dressing up and that sort of thing, which I love Halloween. It was one of my favorite holidays, actually, as a kid. Because, who wouldn't love going around door to door getting free candy? But more so than that, I had strict parents, and I wasn't allowed to wear jewelry, and I certainly wasn't allowed to wear makeup. So what I wanted to be every year was pretty easy for my mom. I wanted to be a gypsy. Because with gypsies, you could wear those big old hoop, gold earrings and lots of makeup and jewelry and stuff. So that was, bracelets on. So that was what I wanted to do. That was my costume probably every year, was to be a gypsy. But I want to talk to you just briefly about something else that's become quite popular, and that's the decorative fashion contact lenses. And I have to be honest, probably had they had them when I was a teenager, it'd have been something I'd have wanted to wear without a doubt. I'm sure I would have wanted a pair of them for myself. You can have vampire eyes, or you can have some kind of popping color, exotic color that you can wear, or you can not only change the color, but if you're a sports fan, you can have the sports insignia or logo put into a contact and wear it. I mean, they can be, some really cool things. But I want you to know, these decorative fashion contact lenses are regulated by the FDA. They are not just cosmetic, over-the-counter items. And people that are selling them that way, I've been told that it is illegal. That you should not try to purchase decorative fashion contact lenses from beauty supplies or boutiques or Halloween stores or just over the counter. A lot of serious consequences can come from that. And I can speak from firsthand experience about abusing your eyes. Now, not that I had decorative contact lenses, no. But I started wearing contacts when I was like 16 years old. That was back in the 70s. And they didn't have the contact lenses that you call dailies now that you can wear sometimes for 2 weeks, at a time, sleeping in them 24 hours, and all of that. They didn't have that. They only had hard contact lenses. But I was known many times to sleep in my contact lenses. And so, yes, I abused my eyes, and I'm paying the price for it now. My vision is, I have very poor eyesight. I have to wear 2 contacts on each eye. They call them piggybacks. And I have really scratched my cornea, and my cornea is in trouble. My optometrist says, the next step is a cornea transplant, but he says you really want to put that off to the last resort, and I totally agree with him. But with these decorative contact lenses, if you don't do them correctly and get them fitted properly to your eye, that's where you're headed. You can scratch your cornea, of course, severe eye infection, and the ultimate being blindness. So I'm not saying don't get them, don't have them, but the suggestion is that get a valid prescription. That go to your ophthalmologist, your optometrist, let him or her measure your eyes and then give you a prescription, and you can order them. And you can look really cool, and have those popping exotic eyes. So, it's not the contact lens itself. It's using them or purchasing them improperly. So again, think before you do that, think about it. Okay, so that's it for the Vine Line today. I want to move to the NKG Talk to Me segment. And remember, in our last video, I asked for parental wisdom, parental words of advice. And parents, well, they're the most influential people in our life, usually, especially as growing up. We come here innocent and like a blank slate, and we're taught through our environment and the people in our lives. And parents are the first, usually, that we come in contact with. One of my viewers shared with me a beautiful love story of her parents. And it just seemed that from her parents, the word was love. Love, she was taught love for her family, love for herself, and love for her fellow man. She also said that her parents taught her not to judge others because there is really only one judge. I totally agree with that. Another one of my viewers commented that they appreciated the fact that their parents were always supportive and did not try to push an agenda. And I understand that. So many parents try to live vicariously through their children. Being a twirler or a dancer or a cheerleader or a football player or a track star or a drummer or a doctor or whatever it is, those dreams and goals and aspirations we try, our parents try to push sometimes upon their children. And this particular individual said, my parents never did that. They supported me in whatever I attempted and tried to do, and I appreciated that. And another individual shared a one-liner I thought was kind of funny. The one-liner is, you never know when you'll need a mint. I said, really? Is that what she said? And she said, yes, that's what my mom always says. You never know when you'll need a mint. I said, okay. And she said in her commentary, she said, I guess it's true because everyone respects fresh breath. Well, yes, we don't like coffee breath and garlic and all that, so maybe so. You never know when you need a mint. And then the other thing that I asked you to comment on and share with me was about collections. And remember, we discussed the gentleman in England who collected vacuum cleaners, and I asked you if you had any special collections, and some of you do. One of my viewers shared that she has a collection of snow globes. And the story behind the snow globes was her husband purchased for her their first Christmas together a snow globe, and that he adds to it each year different snow globes. And I think that's a neat little tradition there. So she has a collection of snow globes. And then the same viewer who talked to me about the love stories, or the love story of her parents, shared with me that when they got married, people, rather than wedding gifts, gave them money. And so her parents wanted something tangible to remind them of the love of their friends and family. So they took their wedding gift money and bought Steuben glassware, some stemware with their money, and made some purchases with that. And I think she said something like 4 dozen different pieces of glassware. And after the wife, passed away, the father divided the Steuben glassware among the 3 children. So they each got pieces of stemware. And of course, not only does it have the sentimental value, that it comes from the mom and the dad and the wedding gifts and all of that, but Steuben no longer manufactures glassware. So these pieces of Steuben glassware now, in multiple ways, are quite priceless. And then another person, I thought this was an interesting collection. One viewer shared with me that she has a collection of decks of playing cards. She said she thinks she has about over 100 decks of playing cards. And I thought, what an interesting collection. She said she thinks she has the 50 states covered, and of course some various cities within those states, and then 6 foreign countries. And she said, they're easy to store and keep up with. And she said, a lot better than 322 vacuum cleaners. I totally agree with that. But I thought that was kind of a cool, interesting thing to collect, decks of playing cards. So I want to thank all of you for your comments and for sharing. This week, I'm going to leave it open. It's kind of like they have open mic, Well, I'm going to leave the comment section open to you. I want you to share with me what you want. And do you have any questions or issues or things that you would like to see be addressed on the NKG Talk to Me video? What have you been doing? For me, I would share, I went to see the movie Prisoners, the new Hugh Jackman, Jack Gyllenhaal movie. I think I said his name right. Anyway, Prisoners, about the abduction of 2 young girls, 2 children. And let me say, that was an intense movie. I cannot imagine, I'm not a parent, and I cannot imagine being a parent and watching that movie and all. It's intense. Now, I will say this. Unfortunately, I had heard too much hype about it. I had heard too much or listened to too many interviews and talk shows and stuff. And on all the talk shows, they kept saying, expect the unexpected, expect the unexpected. So when the unexpected happened, I expected it. And so it kind of ruined it a little bit for me. But let me say this. There is an ironic twist at the end. So if you're looking for a good movie, but expect intense, this is not, easy. It's intense, but Prisoners. I thought was good. So I've been to the movies, I've been doing that and just enjoying. I've been out in the swing with a cup of hot coffee early in the morning, just enjoying the season change. It's just beautiful. So NKG Talk to Me, this video is open. I hope that you will just share your thoughts. What's going on in your life? What are you doing? What have you done lately? Or are there any issues or topics or questions that you might have that you would like to see be addressed or put out here for people to comment on? So I need feedback. I need you to comment and share with me. Okay, to close out today, I want to quote one of my favorite quotes from absolutely one of my favorite American philosophers, Mr. Henry David Thoreau. This quote here, this was introduced to me when I was in high school, and it went a long way into making me embrace my uniqueness and my individuality and being just like what Miss Kansas said. Teresa Vale, she said, "I am who I am, tattoos and all." Well, this is a quote from Henry David Thoreau, and he says, "If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him keep step to the music he hears, however measured or far away." Yes, embrace your uniqueness. Embrace your individuality. What makes you special? Each of us has a gift. What is yours? Embrace it. What makes you a unique individual? Okay, so thank you again so much for watching. Please, just because I didn't give you any specific questions to focus on, I need comments. Talk to me. What's going on in your life? What have you been doing? Are there any issues or questions that you'd like to see covered or be discussed or brought up in the NKG Talk to Me? So give me some comments, subscribe, and share the link with anyone you think that might enjoy the video. So again, thank you for watching. Until the next time, carpe diem and celebrate life.